Hey, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Halloween, everyone. It's Weather for Weather Geeks time as we wrap up the work week, wrap up October as well, since it's the last day of the month. Thought it'd be a good idea to review the month real quickly across North America. Not a lot of colder than average readings across most of North America this month. The month will end cooler than average in southern Alaska. Little pool of somewhat cooler than average air around the northern Great Lakes. But here in Youngstown, we're going to finish the month about a degree above average, so nothing real remarkable. When we're talking a degree for a month period, that's not a real significant statistic. So overall, a fairly typical October. Temperature-wise, precipitation-wise, it'll come in a little wetter than average, especially with the rain that we're seeing out there today. So that's a little bit of a look back at October. Here is today. The rain today has been very, very light when it's been falling, but it's been out there from time to time. When I came in, I had to occasionally flip on my wipers. It's one of those intermittent settings kind of a day on your windshield wipers. This rain will become more and more common as we go through the afternoon. I'll show you the computer models in just a second, but this is a storm that's taking a very unusual path, basically diving from Canada through Michigan and then taking a real beeline down into the southeast. Show you the track again in just a moment, but let's zoom out and take a look at the rest of the country. That's kind of the main player on the field this afternoon, this system diving out of the Great Lakes, eventually heading for the central and southern Appalachians. Other than that, we do have some storminess as my internet connection, of course, slows. It always seems to when I'm recording this video. Let me try a different connection here, see if that helps me out. The West Coast getting a little bit of needed rain. Actually, check out the rain in California this afternoon. Some mountain snows as well. They're going to get a pretty good dumping of snow along the Sierra Nevada mountain range, and they really need it. Of course, they're in a severe drought out here. So seeing rain in San Francisco and Sacramento, places like that, that's a real good thing for them. All right, I seem to have a better internet connection here. So, all right, so let's stop the loop. I'll take off the satellite and the radar. Real quick look at the temperatures this afternoon. It's chilly out there as promised. Temperatures this afternoon, middle 40s. This is about as good as it'll get today. Temperatures will basically hold steady for the rest of the afternoon. Even some upper 30s out in western Ohio. And overall, the coldest air associated with this system is going to deflect to our west, and that's why there's a better chance for snow in western Ohio than eastern Ohio, which is kind of unusual. As you know, if you're familiar with weather patterns across Ohio and Pennsylvania, a lot of times snowier, in fact, all the time in winter, climatologically speaking, the snowier locales are in the eastern and northern half of Ohio as compared to the south and west. But again, this is kind of an unusual situation. All right, so let's take off all the current information, and I'm going to bring up our latest and greatest high-resolution rapid refresh model, high-resolution computer model that we only use in the real short term, generally out to 12 to 15 hours. We'll show you the simulated radar based on that model. I'm going to skip ahead a couple of hours to 4 p.m. Now, if you're a regular viewer of this video, you know that this model has a tendency to overdo things a little bit. So this, is probably somewhat overdone, although not by much. I certainly think the heaviest of the rain this afternoon will be out across central parts of Ohio. The rain in eastern Ohio is going to continue to be light, and that includes for late this afternoon as we get ready for trick or treat in many communities. Here's 5 p.m. Yeah, it's going to be raining lightly, moderately at worst. It's never going to be a huge torrential downpour or anything like that. We don't have to worry about thunder or lightning. It's kind of a miserable, pain in the neck kind of a rain. Here's 6 o'clock, and then for kickoff of high school football this evening, big rivalry Friday for most schools, and yeah, just plan on getting wet. Light rain, even just a mist from time to time, but occasionally a little bit heavier than a mist. It's going to be just like that through the evening and into much of the overnight. Now, in terms of precipitation type, we don't have any concerns about seeing any snowflakes here tonight, but that's not the case in some other parts of the region. Let me zoom back out. Pay close attention as we head through the overnight tonight. Here's this evening at 7 o'clock. Notice some of the blue starting to escape Michigan, head into parts of northern Indiana, northwest Ohio as well. And this, even to me, looks perhaps a little underdone in terms of the amount or the coverage of wet snow showers. I think some of this stuff, as early as 9 or 10 this evening, could try to sneak down to Lima, Dayton, places like that. So, again, kind of an unusual track with this thing. Middle of the night tonight, finally, some of that stuff is shown on the model to get down into southwest Ohio. So, Cincinnati, Dayton, going to see some flakes before us here around the Youngstown area, and where this is going to be a real big deal is down in the southern parts of the Appalachian Mountains. Let's bring up the latest NAM model, which will take us out farther in time. And I'm actually going to bring up the snowfall prediction here on the NAM. And we'll bring up the snow totals for you here through tomorrow morning at about daybreak. Notice maybe there's a dusting, worst a half an inch on the grass. Fort Wayne, Lima, Dayton, Cincy, places like that. But enough snow to at least perhaps break out the shovels in parts of Kentucky, and especially once you're into the higher terrain in eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, Southwest Virginia, into the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee, into western North Carolina. Let me zoom in on this. When you start seeing purple here, that's 6+ inches worth of snow. That's pretty impressive. And some local amounts on the highest peaks of the southern Appalachians could be even higher than that. So that's pretty impressive stuff for November 1st tomorrow. As far as the odds on 1 inch or greater snow accumulations, this is out of the Weather Prediction Center, NOAA, in other words, the National Weather Service. Definitely the highest odds of 1 inch or more down here, southeast Kentucky, southwest Virginia, into western North Carolina. And then up in Ohio and Pennsylvania, there'll be some lake enhancement that tries to kick in and that might give places such as Jamestown, New York, Erie, PA, a somewhat higher chance of seeing an inch. But notice the big hole right through here where we basically have no chance of getting an inch worth of snow around the WFMJ viewing area. Once you're down towards Cincinnati, some of these more olive green colors on the legend over here on the left, that's a 30 to 40% chance of seeing an inch, again, mostly on non-paved surfaces. So it's a decent chance that someone around southwest Ohio gets a half an inch or an inch worth of snow out of this. So, unusual situation. All right, that storm becomes a big nor'easter, but most of the precipitation ends up offshore by Sunday. This is Sunday morning. Big low winding up and bringing gusty winds and some chilly rain and snow showers to parts of New England, but this is going to be mostly a problem for Atlantic Canada by the end of the weekend and into Monday. Our weather quiets down on Sunday. We may start with clouds, but I think the afternoon's fairly sunny. So we head into Monday. High pressure is sliding off to our southeast, giving us a southwest wind starting to develop. Monday starts cold and frosty. We'll probably be down in the 20s Monday morning. But by Monday afternoon, we're back to the 50s. It'll be a pretty nice afternoon on Monday. And then a nice warming trend for Tuesday as that southwest wind or west wind really kicks in ahead of the next front. I think the next front will probably start to bring some showers at the earliest, very late Tuesday, more likely Tuesday night into parts of Wednesday. And then the models are advertising a pretty decent shot of cold air again for the end of next week. It's interesting as we look at the longer range. I wanted to kind of preview November for you. Here's the latest climate forecast system forecast for the entire month of November. It advertises a lot of above average temperatures from the prairies of Canada through the plains of the U.S. down into the eastern U.S. That's for the month of November. Here's the 8 to 16 day outlook on the latest GFS ensemble model. This takes us from the morning of the 8th through the 16th, so heading towards the middle of November. It kind of has the opposite idea for at least that time period, that 8-day period. A lot of chilly air across the east and warm air across the west. Which answer is right? I'm not sure. I think odds favor November not being a cold month. Could it end up slightly colder than average? That's possible. I don't think it's going to be a a real cold November. A lot of people are asking me, hey, is winter going to get off to a fast start? I'm not sure what the definition of fast is, but to me, in my brain, a fast start to winter would mean kind of like last year where we had a pretty decent snowstorm around Thanksgiving, cold air, and that's a few weeks before, the astronomical start of winter, which is around December 21st. To me, that's the definition of a fast start to winter. I don't think odds really favor that this year. I can't rule it out, but odds don't favor it. I think overall November will be kind of unremarkable when we average it all up at the end of the month. That's today's weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks for sticking with me on kind of a long video. If you haven't checked it out yet, be sure to check out my winter forecast. The long, geeky version is almost 20 minutes, the video. It's on my weather blog, ericwfmj.com. It's still up on the wfmj.com/weather website. Also, you can get the shorter version, which I presented on TV last night. It's about 2.5 minutes, and you can check that video out on wfmj.com/weather as well. Some of you will like the forecast, some of you will not. But anyway, I hope you have a great weekend. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you on Monday.